そうさんそうさんお花が長いの
In this video, we're going to show you how to apply your Jamberry nails. To get started with, this is your setup for applying your nails. We have some tweezers, nail scissors, a cuticle pusher, and an orange stick, nail clippers and a file, alcohol swabs, and then a little heater. You can use your hair dryer, or if you have a personal heater at home, you can use that too. Anything that will give the wrap a source of heat to activate the glue. First, before I get into applying the nails, I want to show you the difference between the old nail wraps and the new nail wraps. So the old nail wraps actually came on a white backing, you can see here, and the material is a little bit thicker and the glue is a different type of formula. They've since updated the nail wraps, and now you can see they come on a clear background to help with sizing and finding the right size before you take the nail off of the wrap, off of the background. The wrap itself is actually a thinner material, and the adhesive has been reformulated to help in a better application with staying on for longer and easier removal process when you go to remove them. So let's get started. Okay, so to do our application, first we need to make sure our nails are completely clean of any oils. I've already washed my hands using some Dawn dish soap and made sure I scrubbed my nails real good to get all the oils off. And I use the orange stick to push my cuticles back. And then we also use the alcohol swab. I like to use this to clean my nail right before I put the shield on, just to make sure that all the oils are off. So I'll go ahead and get that out and get that ready. So first we need to figure out which size wrap we need. And I'm going to start with my pinky over here. And I know that this last wrap actually fits my pinky. So depending on what size you need, you want to make sure that the wrap is not going to touch the sides of your hand on your nail here, because that will cause lifting. So it's always better to go with the smaller size on the wraps if you aren't sure. This one would definitely be too big, that would touch. So I want to go with the smallest size here to make sure it's not touching on either side. And to remove the wrap to put it on my nail, I like to figure out how long of the wrap I need and maybe cut a little bit higher than that to apply the first hand. And I use the tweezers and the scissors to do that. So I'm not handling the wrap a lot with my hand. I want to keep those oils off of it. So using the tweezers, we'll just take it up off of the backing a little bit. And we'll use the scissors here to make a cut. Okay. So let's set that out of the way. Now before I apply this to my finger, I want to take the alcohol swab and just clean my nail off real quick with it and let it dry. My wrap, I like to hold it on the end here where I've cut, because the round part's going to be applied towards the cuticle area. So we'll just hold this in front of the heater for about 5 to 10 seconds, and you can see it becomes soft and flexible when it's heated up. And we'll lay it right on the nail. And then I like to use my cuticle pusher to push down in the middle and along the cuticle area to make sure it's getting a good seal, and push it right down in the middle. And I've actually applied it too far over, so let's just move this over a little bit. And we can heat it up on the nail, just stick it right back in front of the heater again. And give it a little bit of heat, and then we'll use the cuticle pusher again to apply pressure. And I have a little trick for you. We're going to use part of a Ziploc bag and hold the nail down while we apply it to the heat, and this will give it a all over pressure to make sure that it's getting a good seal. So you just take a strip of the plastic bag and fold it down over your nail, and you can fold the end part here to give it a good tight seal. And then we'll hold that in front of the heater again for another 5 or 10 seconds or so. You don't want to burn yourself, obviously, so if it's getting too hot, you can take your hand away. But just to give it one good seal all the way across, that will help with any bubbling you might have at the tip. And one last pressure with the rubber tip cuticle pusher. This is my all-time favorite thing for applying Jamberry. Okay, so I'm going to let that one sit for a second and go ahead and do the second nail, and then I'll come back and show you how to make the removal on that. Okay, so I've done my whole hand here, and you can see I still have the edges. I'm going to actually use the scissors to cut off the little bit of extra there, and then we'll use the file to file down and shape it to the top of the nail. So just doing my pinky here, I'm just going to cut off the edge. And then you take your file and you file down against the nail, and it slowly peels off the extra of the wrap on the edge of the nail, giving it a clean cut along with the end of your nail. So I'll just do one more here and cut off a little bit of extra, and then we use the file to file down. This is a finer file. If you wanted to use a coarser file, it might file your nail down more, but it would definitely be quicker to get off that extra and then come back over it with the fine grit file if you'd like to give it a nice smooth finish. And you can always pop it back in front of the heat for a second and press it down if you see you have any little ridges or bubbles coming up. So I'll finish the rest of this in a minute, but basically this is what my sheet looks like after I've done one hand. So to do my second hand, I'll just use the second half of these. And you can see that my nail is not as long as that wrap is. So I like to cut off this middle part extra and keep it on the sheet, and you can use that to come back and do your little toes and use the bigger shield for like your big toe. And I have enough off of one sheet to do my hands twice, so this would be one set, and then this would be the second set, and then you have most of these left over depending on your nail size to do your toes or do an accent nail later on. So you really get a lot of uses out of one sheet, and the application process is quick and easy, and you've got beautiful nails, and you can go on throughout your day and not worry about smudging them or them chipping. Thanks for watching my video, and I hope that it helped you a little bit in your application process.